Hello and welcome to Dell's Gaming, and I am in the designer here for From the Depths, because in this little video I want to look at creating a starter ship for the new campaign and just go through a bit through shipbuilding. I know most people are been building for a long time or happy with building ships, but I thought I'd go through some of it anyway. So let's put the UI back on. Let's just do a new object and a vehicle. Okay, let's get out here a little bit so we get some room to build it. So, ideas for a ship. So first of all, priority is keep the block count small as a starter ship. You're not going to have... Yeah, that's gone a bit strange. Okay, let's take that out. Don't know why that decided to do that, but anyway, we'll take that out of the water. Thank you. First priority, block size, or not block size, resource points. How many points it's going to cost to build a ship? When you're starting a campaign, you haven't got quite so much money available to you, so you want to keep your building relatively small. Now I'd say 10 to 15,000. Now I'm doing at about 15,000 for this particular build at the start of a campaign. Oops, I haven't put my mirror line on. So at the moment I think we had about 30,000, 35,000 in the campaign. So 15,000 means we could build 2 ships, which would be good. Right, type of ship. Now, again, you can't have a battleship with hundreds of cannons and massive laser. You want to stick to some of the basics. So, on this one, I could go realistic style of ships, but what I am thinking is more about a monitor type of ship. So I'm gonna build something which is got a big gun, basically, is my priority on this here. First of all, and most of the points are going to be spent on this gun, for want of a better solution. It's not going to be the only weapon on the ship, but it's going to be a big gun. The monitor style of ship I'm thinking of was not the... We're not talking the USS Monitor, which was the Civil War. I'm thinking more monitor style was a small ship that had oversized guns, primarily for shore battery, but I'm going to use it for just taking out big enemy ships. So it's not going to be highly accurate. It's going to have one long range high damage weapon. It's going to be its primary weapon and a few secondaries. Okay, so that's my idea, and I'll make it... I'm not going to go too far away from standard ship design, so the rest of it is all going to be fairly similar. So when you're building a ship, have an idea in mind, I would always suggest at first, of a design of a ship, because otherwise everything just ends up looking like a ruddy box, which is not great. So, you know, I like to have at least a concept of what I'm going to be building shape-wise, and the easiest way I would recommend is take something from either reality or maybe even a film, a book, whatever it is you like doing, reading, watching movies, etc., and use that as a basis for the ship you're gonna build, basically, and start there. That would be my good... Well, I wouldn't say good, but a suggestion of how to start. Now I'm doing a bit... So my next bit I tend to do, and this again will change for different people, is I tend to start by building the primary weapons, because that's going to define the weight of the ship, the role, everything else about this ship and how big it's going to end up being. So I do the primary weapon first, then I'll build a hull that floats with that weapon. Then I'll get onto the possibly the engines and defensive measures, then put some secondary weapons in, and that's generally the order I go, and then I go into a bit of styling. So for the moment I'm going to finish off this cram cannon, and then we'll see what that's like as far as a primary gun goes once I have finished it. So back in a minute. with a little bit of work on the styling and some secondary weapons, I've got a ship which is a little larger than I was intending. So we've gone up to about 20,000 resource points, which is a little larger than I wanted, but that's okay. I think that's close, but it's worth it. So some of it is because I put a little bit more metal on here, and as you can see, I've had some fun with secondary weapons. So we've still got the primary big gun, which is our main weapon against big targets out to about 2,000. I then put a few little missiles just against aerial and give us that mid-range hit, and I've gone for close range is all about secondary simple weapons. So we've got some nice large cannons on the side here, which give a reasonable broadside, and also some at the back if we get someone chasing from behind. And these lasers at the front on two-way gimbals are good against two-way gimbals, two-way turrets are good against aerial and just eating away at a vehicle. Engines, a steam engine in the center here with a couple of control blocks that control it. So like at the moment where there's no power requirement, it uses very little fuel, and it turns itself down. When there's a requirement for energy, it will turn the burn rate up, and we'll get up to about 2,000 power. But the power's not really required except for making ammo. The sails are the main propulsion. It can get up as high as 12. At the moment it's going a little against the wind, so it's not great. When we have got some propellers down here, but I wanted, just for giggles, I wanted sails because I think it's fun. So I did a bit of testing, and it's okay against things to its equivalent size, and if you get something larger, a couple of these can, say, take out a prowler or something a little bit larger. It's not great against aerial vehicles or the real godly designs, but this is a starting ship just to get us through the first couple of engagements, and we'll potentially bring in a couple of these. Giving it a quick little test, let's just bring in the standard target of a Marauder and see how it does. So the main gun is done a firing with that nice APHE shell, and even at this range the little short with its normal guns, but they're a little extra damage. Okay, missed with the first shot. Let's see, its fire rate is about one shot every 12 seconds. Yeah, accuracy not great at this stage. Missiles are a little bit more reliable as far as accuracy goes, and nearly hit with that big shot. As with cram cannons, it is normal, you know, you're hoping to get a good hit, and there we go. And that's not a massive hit. It took out a fair bit, but not massive. But it is repeated, so there we go. Another good hit. The choices with a cram cannon are more HE, or just let it load longer. Battle off. There we go, big gun. And yeah, that took out a fair bit of damage. Let's see if these guns are going to fight. Yeah, we go. Nice broadside. Just what we were after. Keep that broadside coming in. I might have to reduce the minimum range, I think. A victory, not a decisive victory, certainly not as decisive as I would have liked, but victory nonetheless for the ship. As I say, it should it would be okay against the lower, simpler ships that we'll be up against at the beginning with the deep water guard, and later on we can build something a little bit bigger, a little bit more powerful. As I said, this is a starter ship with simple weapons for defences and just one big cannon. It'll be a bit of fun, and it's certainly different. Anyway, let's see how it'll do in the campaign. I'll build a couple of these and then wait for the deep water guard, I think, to come in and attack us. So, see you next time in the campaign. Until next time, have fun.